If you're a human and you use AI, then chances are you have multiple active AI subscriptions draining your account every single month. And yes, I'm looking at you, bruv. I know you're one of them, okay? But what most people don't realize is that you don't actually need to have all of these subscriptions, because there's actually a tool, a relatively new tool, I believe, that just came out called ChatLLM by Abacus AI. Basically, what this allows us to do is have every single AI model under one roof, one subscription for $10 a month. I'm talking regular LLMs, image models, video models, probably find Iron Man's Jarvis on there, okay? Look, you wouldn't be surprised. So look, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this tool called ChatLLM, and by the end of the video, you'll literally be able to cancel all of your current AI subscriptions and replace it with this one. Now, to get started, obviously you need to come to the official ChatLLM page. As always, I will leave a link in the description and a pinned comment, so you guys can just click that and follow along with me. But I've just realized as well, you can get your first month for $7 and then it's $10 after that. But once you're here, you can check things out if you want, and then once you're ready, click on sign in the top right hand corner and just make an account and log in. Right now, once you're logged in, you're going to be at a page like this, and this is where the fun begins, because like I said earlier, we can basically select any model that we want. And I realized as well earlier when I was using it, it includes open source models as well. It's genuinely basically anything that you can think of, they have. So what I'm going to do to demonstrate, first of all, I'm just going to select, I mean, it doesn't really matter here. Let's just do GPT 5.5, okay? And I'm just going to say, what's a fun fact? I can't type, but I know my keyboard is loud as, but we're just going to send it like that, and then we're going to get a response here, and I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how. Okay, so GPT 5.5 basically said octopuses have, wait, isn't it octopi? Is it not octopi? Am I tripping? Whatever, they have 3 hearts, okay? Now I'm going to show you guys how we can literally keep that exact same prompt right here, but what we can do is we can change it. Let's just do Sonnet 5 because it's new. I think it just came out, and then we're going to click regenerate right here, and it's going to take the same prompt, and we're going to get a different response now, or I guess it's still keeping in the theme of octopi having 3 hearts or whatever, but now you know a different model actually responded to that. We'll do one more right here. Let's do Grok, and then let's click generate again. Let's see if we get something different. Thinking for a second here. Okay, I guess all models have been trained to say octopi have 3 hearts, but you can see we used 3 different models for the same prompt, got 3 different responses, but the same answer. Now look, okay, I've demonstrated how you can manually select what model that you want to use depending on what prompt you're inputting, but what happens if you're a complete noob, okay? You don't know what models excel at what, or what the advantages are and the disadvantages. So what you can do here, and this is one of the best features, you can select the same button, but you can click route LLM, and like the name suggests, but depending on your input prompt, it's going to route that prompt to the best model, I guess, that can give you the best response. So let's do an example right here. Let's just do a simple one. Let's say, what's the capital of Australia? If you guys don't know, I'm from Australia. Now let's see what it says. It should just pick a relatively cheap model, and as you can see, Gemini 3 Flash, because you don't need a crazy model to determine what the capital of Australia is. Now we're going to do a different prompt, okay? And I can guarantee you it's going to decide to use a different model right here. So let's say create a couple lines for a movie script. Use slight profanity for realism. And I can almost guarantee you now it's going to automatically switch this to use Grok, I believe. Because what other thing is it going to... Okay, it's decided to go to GPT 5.5. Here's a short exchange. Okay, it didn't really use profanity. Okay, let's do... What if we just say remove slight? It's got to use Grok now. It has to. Okay, it's still using GPT 5.5. The response isn't actually too bad. I don't know if I want to push this any further to try and get something crazy from Grok, because I don't know what I can allow on YouTube, but you guys can understand the point right here, okay? Long story short, it changed the model depending on what it determined was the best for that response. Okay, so now we know how to manually select any LLM that we want, or we know how to make it select an LLM for us. But what if we don't want to use an LLM necessarily? What if we actually want to create images? Well, we can do that as well, because in the top left hand corner you can see there's an image button, and if you click on it, it'll take you to a new interface. Now here I'm just going to input just a random prompt. We're just going to say first person POV shot from the cockpit of a futuristic jet, hands on the controls flying toward a massive neon cyberpunk city at night, glowing holograms on the skyscrapers, rain on the glass, just a kind of a spaceship through a cyberpunk city type of vibe, okay? And you can select all the different options that you usually would be able to select like on the actual tools themselves. So we're just going to go with, let's go with Nano Banana Pro for this one. You can select the amount of images. We're just going to pick one and go with the first result that we get. We're on YouTube, so we're going to do 16:9 aspect ratio. Let's go with 4K, okay? We'll ball out for a little bit here, and let's click generate. Okay, so we've got our result back, and I'm not going to lie, it actually looks pretty insane. But let's say, for example, you weren't happy with what came back, right? In that case, you just paste in the prompt again, and we'll select whatever model that we want to select. And for, I imagine a lot of you guys, you're going to want to use GPT image 2. So then we'll select that one, and we'll keep everything. Let's go with, should we go with the highest highest quality. Yeah, we're going with the highest, bro. I don't know how many credits this is going to take, but let's click on it. Oh, what's this? Rewrite prompt. We'll actually deselect that. I would low-key encourage a lot of you guys to deselect enhancing the prompt, especially if you kind of know how to prompt. So we're going to keep it off and kind of go with the exact prompt that we put in right here. And yeah, let's see what we get back. Okay, so we just got our GPT image 2 result back, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, I don't know what type of aspect ratio I selected, but regardless, I think I actually prefer the Nano Banana Pro example for this specific prompt. But long story short, guys, you can continue and select whatever models you want to select and basically go with whatever image that you prefer the most. And then from here, I know a lot of you guys are wondering, what if we want to create videos? Well, it's extremely simple. You see these 3 dots in the top right hand corner. If you click on that, we want to use this one as our start frame because it's the Nano Banana Pro generation. We'll literally click, use it as our start frame, and then it'll automatically take you in the bottom right here. You can see video is selected, and we can create a video using this image as our start frame. So what we'll do now is we will paste in this prompt, and it's a very simple prompt. It'll basically say the jet flies forward at high speed through the neon city, dodging between skyscrapers, rain and light streaks flying past, holograms flickering, fast dynamic motion, camera pushes forward, cinematic. So we kind of have like a first person view of this guy as he flies this thing through the skyscrapers or through the city. What we're going to do here is we're going to select, let's go with, as you can see, again, every single model you can think of right here for video generation. Let's go with something quick. Let's just go with Grok Imagine Video 1.5 for this demo. Keep it on 5 seconds. We'll go with 720 and then we'll click generate. Okay, now you can see here we've actually ran into an issue, and it's actually kind of a good thing this came up because you guys can see that the actual max upload limit for a file is 10 megabytes, and you can see that the 4K image that Nano Banana Pro generated exceeds that threshold. So there's 2 things that you can do right here. You can either run it through an image compressor. It'll take like 2 seconds, literally just search up image compressor and throw it in. Or what we're going to do right here is we're literally going to go back, get the prompt, switch this back to image, then paste the prompt again. We'll select Nano Banana Pro again. We'll keep it to 1. We'll keep it to 16:9. And let's just leave it at 1K and click generate. Okay, so we've got our second result right here. And this time we got my boy in the co-pilot seat with me. We're both steering the spaceship apparently. But we're going to continue with this. We're going to click the dots, use as the start frame again. We're going to go down and select Grok Imagine Video 1.5. Keep it on 5 seconds. We'll go to 720 and let me put in the prompt. That might help as well. Copy this, paste it in here, and then click generate. Okay, so as you can see, the Grok result is in. That was actually way quicker than I expected. It was like 30 seconds. But let's play it. Let's see what we got. Wait, that looks pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. That reminds me of those games in like the amusement parks where the thing would like move with you. I forgot what it's called. Those like simulation machines. But as always, okay, sometimes you might not like the generation. So same thing applies as before. We can paste this in again, but this time let's go with the king, okay? I could go with C-Dance 2.0 mini, but let's go with the king, okay? C-Dance 2.0. We'll change it to 5 seconds to keep it the same length as the Grok video. We'll change this to standard, aspect ratio to 16:9, although it'll already use the image, which was 16:9, and then 720, and let's click generate. All right, so the C-Dance 2.0 generation is finished. Let's see how it turned out. Oh yeah, nah, this one's... Hey, listen, in my opinion, this one's better, but you guys leave in the comment which one you like more, the Grok Imagine 1.5 or the C-Dance 2.0. And look, don't forget, if you didn't like either of them, you might even just select it. Maybe we'd go with Kling AI or Kling 3.0. I don't know why it's written Kling AI V3 here, but you just select different models until you find one that you like. Now look, at this point, you know how to use any LLM that you want, even if you have no experience with AI, because it'll choose for you. You know how to use any image model that you want. You know how to use any video model that you want. And this alone is probably increasing your workflow heaps, okay? But there's actually even more that you can do with this $10 subscription. So what I'm about to do now is I'm just going to rapid fire a bunch of different features, and you guys can kind of pick and choose and decide which ones are actually relevant to you. So look, we're back at the home page here, and the first thing that I want to show you is the fact that you can basically generate full PowerPoint slides in a single prompt, and you can edit it and stuff like that. But if we go to the home page here, you can see there's a button that says slides. If we click on that, you can basically see all these different examples. So instead of generating a whole one for you here and waiting through and all that, let's just click the first one. Let's see what happens here. And you can see this is basically an example of exactly what you can do. You paste in this prompt right here, the same as you would do for an image or a video or even just a regular LLM prompt. You would do the same right here. The future of human machine collaboration. Pretty interesting subject. And then as you can see, it's basically going to do research to select all of the fonts and the colors and that type of stuff. Keep in mind, guys, you can edit everything that comes up right here. And then you can see it basically generates like a slide deck, or if you want to call it like a pitch deck, whatever. And then yeah, from there, you literally put in prompts. You can edit if you want to. You can manually edit it, as you can see. Although you know, we're in 2026, but I no way I'm manually editing anything these days. But yeah, long story short, that's the PowerPoint one. You can generate a full PowerPoint in one prompt. The next thing I'm about to show you is how to actually generate a whole ass mobile app, okay? So back in the homepage, we're going to select apps and APIs, and you can see again a bunch of different examples. So we'll just select expense tracker mobile app. I feel like that's pretty relevant. And again, it's same type of deal right here. You can look at these for inspiration, but you can see the prompt right here that they're using develop a mobile app which allows users to track daily expenses. Pretty self-explanatory. And they're including authentication as well. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where users have to like put in their email and sign up, and then it stores that information in like a database in the back end. So you can see right here, it's coding everything, and then bang, you like. Let's skip through here. You can see they're kind of giving it a test run right here. And then from there, it's basically the same as the PowerPoint. You would edit it depending on, you know, new features you want to include and stuff like that. So yeah, you can literally create full mobile apps. But now some of you guys might be wondering, okay, we can create mobile apps, but what if I just want a website? Or what if I want a web app? Okay, the same thing applies. And you can even do full stack apps here, which is insane. You can see if we select this button right here that says full stack apps, it'll filter it out. Let's see, HR SaaS app. I mean, an interactive game. That looks sick. Oh, okay, I want to do the interactive game, bro. Apps and APIs. Okay, cool. So same thing right here. It's creating a website this time. So the last one was a mobile app. This time it's a whole ass website. Game of Life. I feel like I've heard that before. But I'm thinking like the Bruce Lee movie. Or is that Game of Death? I'm tripping. Anyway, you can see they put in the prompt right here. Pretty much the same deal as the mobile app. And keep in mind, guys, the one thing I really want to stress here is that this is full stack. And if you don't know what full stack means, it's not only the front end. So a lot of you guys might have used website generators where it creates the front end, but then you have to attach the back end. You have to do like the authentication. You have to host the website, all that. This is full stack. You can see the website is live. This person's playing on it in the example right here. So yeah, so you've got the PowerPoints, you've got the mobile apps, you've got the full stack websites. Now, the reason why I say that we're about to take this even further is because the next feature allows you to basically host and scale your own, it's really your own LLM 24/7, and it's called Supercomputer at the top right here. So if you click it, it'll basically run you through how to use everything. Now, I'm not going to walk through this entire thing because this could be its own video in and of itself. So instead, what I'm going to do is show you the video dedicated to it. So again, this is another one of those tutorial videos. We're just going to let it play right here. And you can see this is in the terminal right now. You can see it says Abacus AI CLI. And if I'm not mistaken as well, this runs with like Hermes or OpenClaw if you use OpenClaw. This is just the setup process right here. Now they've got it up and running. And there you go. You can see they're using an open source model called Qwen 2.5. And yeah, like it's really not too hard. But the key here is that it runs 24/7, and it kind of has that appeal of being able to be proactive, I guess. Right, now the next feature I want to show you guys might genuinely be the sickest one out of all of them, because Abacus AI, or ChatLLM I guess, has this feature called agent swarms. And essentially what it allows you to do is if you have a real complex prompt where you're kind of telling it to do multiple things, like you might say scrape Reddit, find the highest performing post, put that in a Google document, and it has all these different levers going on at once. What you can do is you can create an agent swarm where you have multiple things working on the same overall prompt. They come together and they give you the final solution. So again, I'm just going to show you guys this video so you can see it in action. This is the agent swarm again. So you're here in the regular interface, you can see you have agents selected right here, and they basically got, like I just said, like a real complex prompt where there's multiple different things going on, different phases that it has to break it down into. And you can see you click a button that says start agent swarm, and now you've got different agents working on different things, but all trying to cohesively complete the same like overall task, I guess. And you can see the tasks are numbered, task 1, task 2, and then slowly over time, everything comes together to finish the entire overall goal that you're trying to achieve. And then at the end right here, you can see whoever's recording this, everything's finished right now. The swarm has basically finished their job, and they're basically just testing everything out to see that it works right there. So that's the agent swarm, one of the sickest things. Now, for those of you guys who are really serious about AI and you want to take this stuff to the next level, you can click on your profile picture right here, and you can click on profile. And then from here, well, first of all, the first thing I want to show you is that if you have a team and you're managing kind of like an operation, you can always add users and then kind of manage your team from here. So you can share chats across team members and stuff like that. But the thing that I want to show you guys the most, okay, if you click on connectors up here, after you just click on first party connectors, this is how you really really take things to a whole different level, okay? If you click on Add Connector, you can basically give Abacus AI or ChatLLM all of these different permissions to connect to these different, I guess, mainstream tools. And that way it can use all of these things kind of together whenever you prompt it to do something, like I was mentioning scraping Reddit before, or like writing up a document. It'll use whatever tools are relevant that'll kind of help it do that. So you could literally connect your agent to your Gmail account and then have it reading and sending emails for you. Although, listen, boys, I do not recommend doing that, okay? I would never trust an AI with my emails, at least not yet. But for everything else here, go crazy, connect everything. So now you know exactly how to use ChatLLM to replace all of your AI subscriptions. Don't forget, there will be a link below if you want to try it for yourself. Or on the other hand, you can continue spending $500 a month to get however many different subscriptions you have right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm out. Peace.